All right, so I will just mute everybody. Just there's a couple of people that have unmuted, which is fine. Okay, all right. So, starting to just warm up the body a little bit this morning. So, let's just think about the length coming from the crown of the head, of the spine, standing nice and evenly with our weight distribution down.
Vicky, can you make your screen really big?
Yeah, is that to see my feet, Rowan?
No, it's because at the moment I've got it on gallery view, but usually you make you the spotlight, I think, so that
I am spotlight at the moment.
If
you go onto view, Rowan, and view, you press active speaker instead of gallery view.
That's all right, sorted. Yeah, I can see you now.
Perfect. Okay, so let's just take some shoulder rolls to begin to warm up through the upper body there. I'm breathing with it, inhale to bring them up and exhale down. That's it, and then take a few the other way, so change the direction of those shoulder rolls this morning. That's it. Good, and relax. Feel the shoulder blades come down your spine, so draw the scapula together as if you're sliding them into your back pocket, so we're nice and open through the chest. Neutral spine, so be careful where your tilt is of your pelvis. Make sure that you are nice and neutral within that pelvis, and even weight distribution through the feet. Try not to lean forwards and tilt or lean backwards. So just take that range check to see how your weight is through your body. Okay, bring your chin in towards your chest, and on the exhales, I just want you to gently tilt the head over to the side, come back through the middle, and then take the head over to the other. Sorry, it's not a tilt really, it's more of a half head roll. Over towards one shoulder, back to scoop towards the center, and over to the next. And we're just going to do 4 more of those, really, really slowly. Don't make yourself too dizzy by doing this. Especially for those with any neck conditions, keep it nice and slow. 1 more time either way. That's it. Good, and then bring the head back to center. We're just going to look up towards the ceiling. We're going to reach the hands up towards the ceiling, and we're going to really try and lengthen from hip to shoulder as much as we can. And then exhale, lower those arms down. And then we're going to do 4 of the inhale, shoulder shrug. Exhale, shake out and release. Knee bend, inhale up. And exhale, shake out and release. Shake out any tension in those hands and wrists as well. 1 more, inhale. And exhale to soften. Good. Just take a few wrist circles for me. We are going to be doing a couple of things in 4-point kneeling as well today. So choose a direction of the wrist and then go the other way. Okay, just to mobilize out through the hands, and then give the hands and the wrists just a gentle shake out. That's it. And then let's do the same with the feet and the ankles. So standing through one leg, we're just going to take some easy ankle circles one way on that leading foot, and then we're going to go the other way as well. That's it. And then keeping the hip nice and relaxed, just gently shake out any tension through that leg, through the feet and the toes, and then onto the other standing leg, and the same thing again. So a few ankle circles. That's it. 5 or 6 one direction, and then the other direction. Try not to collapse in the body as you're doing those circles, and then keeping that knee nice and relaxed. Not too much of a vigorous shake, just shake out any tension through the body in that foot and the ankle. Okay, standing a little bit wider, we're going to take our softening pelvic circles. So bending the knees, imagining we're moving in between that hula hoop, but really slowly, and we're pushing the hips round to the side, to the back, and to the front. 2 more this way, and then we are going to change that direction. Good, so when you're ready, change that movement, and see if you have as much control the other way. Waking up through the hips, the knees. You might even be getting, as you sit your bottom back, a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So 1 more. And then just for fun, why don't we try and do a figure of 8 action with our hips. So we're going to take our hips towards the front right diagonal and back, and then towards the front left diagonal and back. Okay, so you're trying to do a figure of 8 movement with those hips, and then make that movement even smaller. And can you control that movement? Don't worry if you can't, just do a couple more. That's it, and then back to standing. Okie dokie. So we're going to be doing a plie series now. So I just want to warm up doing some rises to get those ankles warm. So just be careful with ankles. Don't rise up too high and stop if you need to. So hands on the hips, maintaining that length of the body. We're going to, on an inhale, prepare. Exhale, we're going to, and inhale, we're going to lower. Exhale to rise, and inhale to lower. Exhale to rise up, squeeze those inner thighs, those knees and those ankles together, and inhale, lower. 3 more. Exhale, rise. Feel that lift coming from the crown of the head. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, squeeze the inner ankles. Inhale, lower. One more time. This time we're going to hold the rise. So we're going to come up, and then once you've achieved that balance, if you can, take both hands above the head. Find that length in the body. Squeeze the inner ankles even more. Squeeze your core and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Good. Standing a little bit wider, but still in parallel. We're just going to take a few warm-up squats. So this is a nice deep bodyweight squat. We're hinging to sit back on the imaginary chair with the arms forward, and exhaling, pushing through the floor, through those heels to come up, squeezing our bottom underneath. Inhale to hinge and sit back. Exhale to push the ground away from you to come up. Tuck the bottom underneath. Inhale back. Exhale, squeeze and press. A really functional squat. See how low you can go comfortably. Exhale, push through those heels. 4 more. Inhale back. Keep the shoulders soft, chest lifted. Exhale up. Inhale. 3. And 2. And 1. Good, and relax there. Okay, stand a little bit narrower for me. Keep the knees nice and soft, and let's take the hands to the side of the head. When you're here, try not to flare the ribs and stick the chest down. Make sure we've still got rib to hip connection and neutral spine. We're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to rotate just the upper body round to one side, and then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, upper body round to the other direction. Keep those hips front, and inhale, center. 6 more. Inhale to the front. If it's more comfortable to keep the arms out to the side, I don't mind if you take your arms there. Okay, try to pull the opposite elbow back and the opposite hip the other way. Inhale. So once you go to the side, pull that front opposite hip the other way. So feet, knees and hips stay facing forwards, and you're looking the way. Can you rotate the same amount of rotation either way? And come back to center. Okay, we're going to combine those 2 movements of the squat and then the rotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our hands on our head. We're going to take our squat on the inhale. As we exhale, we're going to push through one leg, lift into a single leg lift as we take our body to rotation, and then inhale, we come back to center, and exhale, we go the other way. So we're now doing an inhale on the bend, an exhale on the leg lift. We rotate our upper body, and then we inhale, come back to center. So this is one that takes quite a lot of control, stability, coordination. If in doubt, don't do the bend in between. Just concentrate on the lift and the twist and the lower. Inhale, let's do 4 more. That's it, inhaling in the center, exhale. So a tip is to think of going really tall on the exhale from the crown of the head. Engage the core, do 2 more, and really think of pushing down one leg and growing tall through the crown of the head. 1 more. And relax down, bring those arms down, and just give those shoulders, those arms a little stretch. Okie dokie. So plies now, just warming up through those legs. Stand a little bit wider again and rotate out from the hips to 10 to 2 on the clock face, knees and toes. Hands onto the hips, shoulders away from ears. Let's just inhale and soften those knees. Exhale, push through the heels to come back up to straight legs. Inhale down, exhale, push. So just watch that you are not diving forwards as you're bending. Keep the hips directly down in the center and push the floor away. Good, 3 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, 2, exhale up, One more, and then I'm going to show you the variation we're going to go to. Okay, so we're going to be in our plie with our arms out. We're going to come up and over with the working leg to turn to parallel to face the side into our parallel lunge squat. And then we're going to open out back to that central plie. We're then going to bring the other arm working leg in to turn parallel. And then we're going to open out. So let's do 8 of those. So we exhale on the twist. Inhale on the return. Exhale, twist. So the weight is going 2 legs. Off to 1 leg and then back to 2. Off 1 leg and back to 2. That's it. Nice and steady. After this last one, so we're going 4, 3. So you're going to end in a parallel lunge position after this last one. So let's finish in our parallel lunge hold. Okay, if you need to watch me for a couple, you can. On the inhale, we're going to prepare. On the exhale, we're going to go to 1 standing leg to a straight leg as we lift. And then inhale, return back down. So we exhale, lift the working leg through. Inhale, step back. So we go exhale to 1 leg. Inhale, return down. Exhale. Inhale down. Let's do 4 more. Drive into that supporting heel. Inhale back. Inhale down. 2 more. Inhale down. We've got 1 more variation. So just relax back to 2 legs for a second. Just give yourself a little shimmy, shake out. Okay, now you're going to bend both legs. You are still parallel to the side or to the front, wherever you've decided to be. You're going to lean forward slightly, hinge from the hips. Both knees are bent. We're going to stay on the front bent supporting leg and extend our working leg behind. And this leg is just tapped. Hands on the hips. We're going to exhale and lift the back leg off. Inhale, tap it back down. So we're doing a little arabesque lift, but we're in parallel. So we exhale, all of our weight is on that standing leg. Shoulders are away from ears, neck's nice and long. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, keeping the hips level. 2, how are we doing? 1 last one. Good, and come back in. Okay, have a little shake out because we're going to do the whole thing again. Okay, we're going to do 8 up and overs. We're going to then finish on the opposite side to what we've just done. We're going to do our leg lifts, and then we're going to do our arabesque lift. Okay, so in the center, in that second position, arms out into plie, nice gentle plie. Inhale here, exhale, lift up and over to parallel. Inhale, open out. Exhale, lift. Inhale. So make sure you are lifting that working leg off as you turn the hips and the knee to avoid jarring out through any of your joints. Keep it nice and small. And you might feel that this section is bringing up that heart rate a little bit, which is normal. I know mine is. 4 more. 3, 2. Last one. And then face the direction that you weren't in before. Okay, so come into that parallel lunge, weight on 2 legs, arms out in front. Inhaling here, exhale, drive through the supporting heel to lift to a single leg. Inhale, come back, arms out. Exhale, arms parallel here. Inhale, out in front. Good. So we go from 1 leg to 2 legs. Push through the supporting heel to come up and control that down. She says as she wobbles. Inhale, good. 3 more, really drive through that working leg. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. 1 more time, and then we've got a short pause and relax. Good, and come back to 2 legs. Oh, have a little jig. Okay, so if you're facing the front, you are simply taking your second leg back that you didn't use before. Okay, softening both knees, hinging at the hips slightly so the weight's slightly forwards. Weight stays on the front leg, we take the working leg back, but it's just tapped. And we're parallel, hands on the hips. Inhaling as we exhale, we lift the back leg and inhale, tap it down. But what we're not doing is diving forwards as we lift it, okay? Slight hinge of the body and the leg is staying parallel, lifting directly behind and lower, as if we'd be on 4 point. And lower down, just have a quick little look. That's it. So try and keep your weight the entire time on that front leg. So you're just tapping the back leg behind. That's it. So it's a bit of balance, control, stability. Everything's working here. Good. 2 more. So try not to swing this too much. Sorry, Marion, I can see that you're patiently waiting for this next one. We've just got 1 more standing. Exhale, lift. And come on. Good. Okay. Just relax for a second. Let's just take some arm raises and lowers to get back on our breath if it's increased. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And 1 more. Okay, so we have 1 more plie and rise exercise. Okay, so if you need to for these ones, you could come to the side, could come to a desk or a dressing table if you needed. You can do this whole neck section holding on if that does help. Okay, otherwise we're in the center. Okay, our arms are just down in belly turns in bra bar, but otherwise just have them straight down here. Okay, standing nice and tall through the body. We're going to bend the knees, so we're in our plie position. Just watch we haven't let those knees and ankles roll forwards. Okay, holding the bend, we're going to try and lift our heels and take our arms to the side. Then we're going to zip in the inner thighs, lift the arms up and come to straight legs, but the heels lifted. And then we're going to lower our heels to straight legs and the arms come in front. So we bend to plie, stay in plie, lift the heels, arms out, squeeze. Inhale, go tall to straight legs and exhale, release those heels down. Good. 3 more. So we bend. We stay in the bend, we lift the heels off. We inhale, we lift up. And we exhale, we lower those heels. So we're really zapping that middle line of the body to help with that stability. 1 more time. And exhale, lower. And release here. Okay, we're going to do it the other way. So we're going to take the arms up and the heel raise to start with. Exhale, bend the knees, but keep the heels lifted. Lower the heels and the arms, and then return here. Okay, so we inhale up. Lift the heels. Exhale. Heels stay lifted. We bend. We lower the heels, and then we come here. 3 more. So we go inhale. Little bit faster. Good. Inhale. Try and keep those hips, heels lifted. That's really hard. 1 more time. Lower. And come here. Good. And then let's just relax. Okay, good. There was some really hard sort of balance and stability exercises there. Okay, next one, 2 variations. So just watch me for this one. First variation, a little bit easier. You are going to roll down through the spine, really taking your time. You are going to walk out to either a 4 point or a 3/4 plank. You're going to reach forwards with 1 arm. You're going to replace it back and return and roll up. Intermediate advance, you're going to roll down. You're going to walk out into a full plank. You are then going to reach out with 1 arm, return the arm back, soften the knees, and roll up to here. So we're going to do it 8 times, alternating that arm reach. Okay, so let's stand at the back of our mat. Inhale to lift the chin, exhale, take our time to roll down through the spine. So I'm going to demonstrate lowest option. You're going to come to 4 point. You're going to reach forwards with 1 arm, keeping the core controlled, lower it down, and then walk the hands back into knees, tuck the toes, round up, relax the head, and on the exhale, uncurl back to standing. And 7. That's it, good. So for those, you might decide to go to 3/4 plank and extend an arm. We're moving really, really slowly so we're controlled. If it's too much rolling up and down all the time and you're getting a little bit dizzy, not busy, just come back to here and maybe take an arm raise and a lower and walk yourself back out. So adapt this as you need to. Okay, I'm just going to come to the screen and see how we're all doing. So easiest level, we're rolling down to a 4-point and we're just extending a single arm and returning and rolling up. Hardest level, you'd be rolling down through the spine to a full plank, staying really, really stabilized and reaching one arm out for a moment of full plank with one arm and then returning back in and rolling up. And again, if you're getting dizzy, not busy, you can always sit back to your knees and instead of the roll up, just do an arm raise and an arm lower. So do whatever you need to do to slowly move through that roll up and roll down sequence. That's it, lovely. That's it. So no idea how many we have all done now. So why don't we just go for 2 more lucky ones? I think we'll probably be in that sort of a number. That's it. So this is really, again, warming up through the body, using the roll up and roll down if you're not finding that that's too much. Do the last one for me and then sit back into a child's pose. So when you're ready, come down to the knees, feet together, hips sink back towards the heels, relax those arms forwards, relax the head. And let's just take a couple of nice deep breaths there. So after that last one, just enjoy that moment of softening. And after you've taken a couple of breaths in child's pose, I want you to come slightly, if I show you here, instead of being flat down in child's pose, I want you to walk the hands in a little bit. So you kind of come up a little bit with your upper body, and then you're going to look under one arm to rotate slightly, come back to center, and then look under the other arm. And this is basically just going to create a bit more stretch around here. So have a go from being down in child's pose, walk those hands a little bit further in, relax the head, and then rotate under one arm, see how that feels, and then rotate under the other arm. Good, and then from there, we're going to come back into 4-point. Okay, so this next one, we are going to take 6 swims. Okay, so it's going to be from in opposition, extending, and then returning back to center. So 6 alternate. Okay, so let's go for those. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Tabletop back, breathing in as we exhale. Let's take one arm forward. Get to the position, breathe in and hold it. And exhale, return back in. Inhale, exhale, extend away. Hold it, lengthen, inhale. Exhale, return in. So 4 more. So you really want seamless movement of the arms and the legs in opposition as the framework of the shoulders and the hips stays exactly the same and you're drawing the belly button in towards the spine. One more time. And then we're just going to sit down comfortably. Just come off those hands and knees in any way you need to. And I'm going to demonstrate the next level. Okay. So just for a little bit of a play, I'm going to give you quite an advanced option just to have a go with if you want to. So if not, you're going to do another 6 exactly the same. Okay, here we go. No pressure now, everyone's watching. So this time you're going to come to a knee lift. Okay, so it's the same 4-point kneeling position basically, but the knees are lifted slightly. And then on the exhale, we're going to try and take one arm out in front and one arm back, and then return. And then we're going to go opposite again. And inhale, return. Okay, so it's the exhale you're going to extend away, inhale, return in, and you're doing it all from this knee lifted position. Okay, trying not to lift the bottom too high as you extend the arm and leg. You're trying to keep the same height as that tabletop. It is hard and it is quite a lot of stress on the ankles as well. So any doubts, stick to 6 plain. Okay, so from 4-point kneeling for everybody, those going to do the advanced option, tuck the toes, engaging through the core, shoulders down, you can lift off both knees. I'm going to do the advanced with you this time. Okay, so inhale, prepare, exhale slowly, really slowly, slide the leg and arm out in opposition, and then if you feel stable, lift. Inhale, slowly return it back in. Good, and we're going for 6. So really move slowly, think spider. That's it, really slowly, keeping the level of the hips and the shoulders the same if you can. 2 more. Whew, this is making me get hot. That's it, one last one. Little bit of a play there, I know that one was hard. Bring those knees down and let's sit off those shoulders and those wrists. Couple of shoulder rolls, couple of, I need to say ankle then, wrist rolls as well. Give them a little shake out. Okie dokie. So let's sit to one side and bring those legs round to the front. I can't believe the time. Okay, we're going to come into a sideline position in a moment and do some classic glute work. Okay, so if you want to, you could come down onto a flat arm here, but I prefer us to be up on a forearm here, just so we're activating through the side and using a little bit of shoulder stability. But by all means, if you need to come down to a flat arm here or here, just come down, okay? So wherever you need to be, just start on one side, the hips stacked, the feet and the ankles together, and you're either on a flat arm, sunbather pose, or you are up with the elbow just outside of the shoulder. Okay, we're going to extend that top leg wherever we are. We're going to lift it just off the floor and really lengthen. Imagine someone's dragging your toes away from you, away from that hip. Okay, then you're going to flex the foot and we're going to turn the knee and the toes inwards and down. So we're inwardly rotating that leg slightly. Okay, from there, we're going to inhale, lift, pushing the heel away. Sorry, exhale, lift, inhale, lower it to tap. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower to tap. Good. And for those that are up on their forearm, you are constantly trying to work this underneath rib cage side so that we're not collapsing into that shoulder. So watch you're not doing this. Sinking in, lift out. 4 more, 4. Okay, so if you're down, absolutely fine. You are going long with that leg and going into side abduction leg lift. So really classic one to get hold of glute medius muscle. That's it, to 2 more. And last lift. Good. And return it down to hip width. Make sure it's still rotated inwards, and we're going to circle it back for 8. Really slow. 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. Keeping the stability of the core. 2 and 1. Good. And lower down. Okay, if we've been up on the arm, we are going to come to a flat arm either here or here now. Just take your knees slightly further away from you again, and we're going to do a clam variation. So make sure that the hips are stacked. Top hand can stay on that top hip, just to make sure that you've not rolled towards or away from your mat. Okay. And then we're going to breathe in to prepare. Exhale, we're going to open that top knee as if we're going to show the inner knee towards the ceiling without rolling back. And inhale, we're going to close down. So it's just classic side lying clam. But hopefully after those leg lifts and circles, you can feel that glute medius muscle working a little bit more. So it's a muscle, if you put your hand on your hip bone and then just go slightly behind there, that's the one that we're trying to engage. So 4 more. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Good. 1 more time, and then I'm going to give you a variation. Well, 2 variations. Easier level, you're going to lift those feet and ankles off, and you're going to do 6 clams again, but keeping the feet lifted. Harder variation, not only have you lifted the feet and the ankles off, when you open the knee, you're going to continue that line of extension to extend the leg, tap it back in, and lower and close. Okay, so we all have our feet and ankles lifted. So let's come to that position. Level 1s, you are just going to keep the knees down and open the hips from here. Level 2s, after you've opened, you're going to have that moment where you're going to shoot the leg away into extension. You're going to tap it back in and close. Okay, so whichever level you are doing, you're either here or you are choosing to take that extra extension and load on the hip and the glutes by extending that leg. Again, that's quite a strong one, so just be careful. That's it. 3 more. And the last one. And let's lower down from there. Okay, push up from sideline, bring those legs around the front, and we're just going to do our hip opener stretch from here. So whichever leg you have working then, we're going to try and stretch that one out. Okay, so that leg is going to come out in front. And the leg that you didn't use, you're going to tuck in towards you a little bit more. So whichever leg was doing the kicking, or the flapping, that leg is going to be a little bit further out. We're sat down, we've got neutral pelvis, we're going to breathe in to sit tall, we're going to breathe out, and we're just going to fold forward and over both of our legs. Okay, so we're thinking of coming up out of the hips and forwards. Then we're relaxing the head, and we're taking a couple of nice deep breaths there. And that breath in and out, I really want you to breathe into the area that's tight, so whether it be neck, back, or hopefully that glute that we've just been stretching. Take some nice deep breaths. Good. One last nice deep breath into this forward fold. And then we're going to come up and we're going to do the whole thing on your second side. Okay? So classic glute medius control, either down to a supported and lifted forearm position, or flat arm or sunbather pose, whichever one is more comfortable for you. But hopefully starting these first two with forearm and a lifted rib cage. Okay, working leg out, lift to just hip width, flex that foot, and then let's rotate, internally rotate that leg and knees and toes down and in. Okay, exhale, we're going to go for a little lift, but more length. Inhale, tap it to the floor. Exhale, lift. Inhale, tap. Keep the underneath rib cage lifted up and the shoulders soft and the crown of the head nice and tall. So just a few things for you to concentrate on this morning. 4 more. Inhale. So the lift is more lengthened. Imagine someone is physically pulling that leg away from you as you lift it up, and inhale down. 1 more. Inhale. Okay, bring that leg to hip width, so a small lift. Keeping the stability of the upper body, we're going to circle back for 8 and 7. Quite big circles with that leg, and big, I mean more forwards and backwards. I don't mean too high. Okay, 4, 3, oh, I can feel that burn already. 2 and 1, so hopefully feeling it just in the side bump. Bring those knees together, come down to a flat arm or sunbather pose if you've been up on that forearm. And we're going to go for our clam variation. So knees come slightly further away from the body, hips are still stacked. Okie dokie. So we're just going to go for 8 plain clams with the feet together, breathing in. Exhale, open that top knee. Inhale, close it back down. Don't let those hips rock. Place this top hand on your hips if you need to mark it, and make sure that we're not rolling. Exhale on the lift. Inhale on the lower. So you're in control of how open you bring this knee. It might only be a really small movement until you feel that body want to compensate and rock. 3 more. 2, shoulders stay soft. So hopefully again you're feeling it in that glute medius muscle just behind that hip bone onto the side of your bottom. Okay, relax for a second. We're going to go for our next variation where we're lifting both feet and ankles off. Knees are together and down. So we're either going to go for 6, opening the knee and closes but keeping the feet lifted, or 6, adding the extension of that working leg in between our reps. Okay, so wherever you are, really make sure of lengthening out of your hips with that top knee. Okay, only opening it as far as comfortable, and try not to take that tension into the shoulders. If you're extending that leg, really extend through the toes so the muscles don't shorten. That's it. It's quite a strong one for glutes. I can really feel this one burning. 2 more. Full leg and body activation. 1 more. Good, and lower down. Good, okay, push up. We're going to stretch out and do our hip opener, forward fold with our working leg out in front now. So whichever leg was lifted then, that one goes further out in front and the other leg tucks a bit further in. Sitting nice and tall. You can sit on something if it helps you for this forward fold. Inhale, go tall. Exhale, smoothly soften over. Be really wary if you're getting acute sharp knee pains, then don't bend the knees as much and don't fold as far over. So just be really, really careful with how you come into that forward fold if you're getting any sharp knee pain. And breathe, use your breaths. If you haven't breathed, and that was a reminder, inhalation is the expansion, exhalation is the softening. 2 more. 1 more. Good, and roll up from there. Okay, you guys can just relax for a second whilst I show you the next 2 that we're going to do down on our front. So we're going to work in a prone position, because we've not done that for a little while yet. It's really healthy to work the spine into extension as well as flexion. So just a quick reminder of this, we're going to come onto our front. So just watch me if you're tall and short. We're going to stay parallel with the legs. Okay, hands are going to come to shoulder height, either side, and we're going to be gently rolling as if we've got a marble on our nose, and we're going to roll the marble forwards and up. And as we do that, we push through the hands to support ourselves, and we come up slightly, and then we lower back down. So all we're going to be doing is inhaling, exhale, pushing to roll up just as far as we are comfortable, and inhaling to soften back down. But we're keeping the belly button lifted away from the mat and a slight posterior tilt. Okay, so come down into that position on your front. Make sure the legs are parallel, and also make sure that you've got that little lift underneath the belly button and your hands are down by your side. Forehead's down onto the mat, breathing in, breathing out, roll the marble away from you so you look forward ahead of yourself. Shoulders down, push through the hands and see if you can come up a little bit. And then inhale, slowly roll back down again. Do 6 of these. These might be really, really tiny, and that's fine. It might be the slightest lift. And inhale down. Just really think of rolling the marble forwards and up while protecting your lower back by drawing your belly button in towards your spine and back down again. That's it, good. That's it. Let's do 3 more of those, really, really tiny. So we're taking care of the lower back by encouraging extension, but we're supported by drawing the belly button towards the spine and lowering back down. Do 1 more, and then we are going to take our swimming exercise with the arms extended, and then we're going to open the legs slightly wider but stay in parallel. So we've got our arms out in front of us, our legs out in front of us. If you need to watch me and just come up for a second, you can. Okay, so with the forehead down, we breathe in. As we breathe out, we extend 1 arm away, 1 leg away, small lift, and then we inhale and lower. So 2 options are to either keep your head and chest down the whole time and just lift the opposite leg and the arm, or you are going to use that marble roll and lift the thorax off as well and lower down. Okay, so whichever level you are comfortable with. If you're in any doubt, keep the head and the chest down. So coming onto your front, forehead down to the mat, little lift of the belly button away from the mat to protect the lower back. Inhaling, exhale, take 1 arm forwards, 1 leg back, small lift and lengthen, and inhale, lower it down again. Exhale on the opposite. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale, lower down. So you're using that lift if you know you're comfortable into extension to lift a little bit higher. You're thinking of the length of the arm and leg, and you're protecting your lower back by drawing your belly button towards your spine. Two more. Last one. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands back underneath the shoulders, draw your core in towards your spine, push yourselves up, bring yourselves up 3-4 point, and we're going to sit back into child's pose. Arms reach forward, shoulders and forehead soften. And breathe. Okie dokie. From there, come to a seated position. Bring those arms round to one side and just bring the legs out in front of you. Again, in this seated position, you could, if you wanted to, get yourself up on a block. So if you find that you're kind of slumping back and taking it in your hip flexors, sit yourself up on something a little bit taller. Okay, so we're just going to take a couple of side bends with the arms out to the side, tapping the floor. Exhale, we're going to come up and over into a nice side bend. Inhale, we're going to return to center. Exhale, side bend away. Inhale, return. 4 more. So really feel the side body open, maybe even down to the hips and the lower rib cage. You might feel that stretch. 1 more either side. Good. Last one. Fantastic. Okie dokie. From here, we're going to come back to a kneeling position to do our hip flexors. Okay. So a kneeling hip flexor stretch, nice and basic. Come to a high kneeling position for me. You could put some cushioning underneath your knees if you needed to. We're going to take one leg forwards, in parallel, hands on the hips. We're just going to simply tuck your bottom underneath and see if we can find that stretch up through the supporting thigh on that back leg. So a little pelvic tuck. Can you feel that length through the quad and the hip flexors? Whichever leg is behind you, that same arm comes down, and then we're going to lift it up to the side and we're going to lean away from that back leg. So we just opened up that whole side and hip flexor area a little bit more. Breathe here, a couple of nice deep breaths. Open out and lower down and then switch legs. So bring the second leg in. Okay, switch those legs. From this even 4-point kneeling position, simply just tuck your bottom underneath you and see if that gives you a stretch up through the other front of the thigh. Okay, so now we've swapped, see how that feels. Whichever leg is behind you, release that arm down, take it up to the side and over into a very subtle side bend. So we're going away from that backwards leg. So we're going towards our front leg with the side bend. Still tucking our bottom underneath us and just seeing how that feels, breathing. And come back and open out. Okay, last optional stretch is going to be a downward dog stretch for those that want to. An option might be to come to a tricep stretch instead. So an option might be to stay on your knees, but bring the forearms down, bring the hands together, and you might decide to come to a tricep stretch to open out through the shoulders instead. So this is an option instead of downward dog. Otherwise, from 4-point, shoulders down your back, engage core, tuck the toes, and then we're going to lift the hips up on the exhale. We're going to shoot the hips up towards the ceiling, keep the knees soft, walk the hands forwards and relax the head down. Okay, so don't worry if those heels are lifted and those knees are soft. Just think of lifting the hips up towards the ceiling and relaxing the head. So whichever stretch you're in, breathe. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. If you're in downward dog, it sometimes feels quite nice to bend the legs alternately. So you can feel that little wiggle in the hips if that feels nice to do so. Otherwise, stay static, lift the hips, engage the core and take a couple more deep breaths. From here, wherever you are, if you've been in tricep stretch, come up to 4-point. We're going to walk the hands back towards the feet into a downward roll. Soften into that roll down, breathe in, and exhale. We're going to really, really slowly roll up through the spine. Come back up, take a couple of shoulder rolls. And then final thing to finish with, we're just going to do a neck stretch here. So we're going to tilt ear to shoulder on one side. We're going to take that arm across to the opposite shoulder just to keep it down. Breathing, and then onto the side of the head just to increase that stretch a little bit more. So keep this shoulder nice and heavy. And then tuck the head in towards the chest, keeping it to the side with soft knees. Bring the chin in, and this stretch might come a little bit further down your back this time. Breathe. And coming up, release the hands, ear to shoulder on the other side. Arm across that opposite shoulder just to tell it to stay down. And then hand onto the side of the head, breathing into any tightness. Next, breath out, take the hands to the back of the head and tuck the chin in towards the chest from there. And feel how that's altered the stretch. Okay, and then bring the head up, arms up, couple of shoulder rolls, and we are all finished. Maybe just shake out through those feet and those ankles as well. Okay, so hopefully that has got you all warm and going for today. I'll just stop that recording. So if you do it